Hey guys, my name is Emma and today I've got my Classics TBR for 2019 for you. So slightly different filming setup. It's because this is the only room in my house that I can get warm at the moment because oh my god, it's so cold outside. My fingers literally went numb earlier today when I was in my study doing some work on the computer, so I've run away to the living room to try and film. Also apologies if there's loads of traffic sounds. The road is really busy out there today and I think you're probably going to be able to hear it quite a lot. So for anybody who watched my 2019 goals video, which I will link down below, I have decided to try and read 20 classics books in the year of 2019. Now to help with that, I've got 10 books or 10 authors as such that I want to try and prioritise getting to. I've not gone for the whole 20 because I want to give myself a little bit of room to add some more as we go throughout the year, but these are 10 that I'm going to make a high priority for ticking off on my Classics TBR. If you saw my video Mum Picks My TBR from her bookshelf, you'll already know that I'm planning on reading an Austen this year, and you'll also know which one that is. So I am reading Northanger Abbey at the moment. This is a parody of a Gothic novel, which is excellent fun. Now this isn't the only Austen I have on my shelves, however, so I'm really enjoying this at the moment, and I'm thinking that I'll probably do another Austen before the year is out because of how much I'm enjoying this. And my plan currently is to read Persuasion, which I also have on my bookshelves. These editions are the Penguin English Library editions. This one I bought literally yesterday because my mum's copy that I borrowed is filled with annotations, so I wanted my own copy. And this one I picked up from a secondhand bookstore a long time ago for very little. It's shiny, which means I think it's an older edition than this one where they've gone for the more matte look. Most of my books are these, but wherever they're different I will say, and I'll also link down below all the different publishers. As well as an Austen, I'd like to get to a Bronte at some point, and I'm thinking I'm going to start with Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Technically I studied this for A-level, however I never actually finished it, and I often find that studying a book decreases my enjoyment of it rather than enhances it, so I quite like to go back to this and read it without having to study it at the same time. I really want to read an Arthur Conan Doyle, which is of course the masterful creator of the Sherlock Holmes character. Now Sherlock Holmes is just a collection of short stories, of which there are a lot out there, and I happen to pick up The 5 Orange Pips and Other Cases, which in this light looks really weird. It's much prettier when there isn't like a bright yellow light on it. The reason I picked up this one specifically rather than any of the other collections is because this does reference the beautiful and brilliant Irene Adler on the back, who is a character who I think Sherlock has a romantic relationship with over the years, has been played by Rachel McAdams in the movies with Robert Downey Jr., was an amazing character in the Benedict Cumberbatch BBC series, and it's her specifically that I'm really interested in as far as like the secondary supporting cast of Sherlock goes. So when I saw that mention in the blurb, this had to be the one that I went for. But if I do enjoy it, there are loads out there. My final Penguin English Library edition is Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray. This is much beefier than I expected. It tells the tale of two main female characters, which is Becky, who is sly and cunning, and Amelia, who is good-natured but naive. I think I've seen bits of this as a movie or TV adaptation, and it kind of piqued my interest. I read the blurb for this when I was doing that classics blurb challenge that me and my dad did. I'll link it down below if you know what I'm on about, and it really did appeal. Now this was before I saw the size of it, which is quite scary, but I am hopeful that I will enjoy it. So as well as going for classics as they are kind of commonly understood, I'm not shying away from any of the sci-fi or fantasy classics out there, and one that I want to get to is Isaac Asimov's The Complete Robot series. Isaac Asimov is considered one of the sort of grandfathers of modern sci-fi as we know it, and laid down a lot of the rules and laws and terminology when we talk about robots and artificial intelligence, which have now actually bled their way into how we are dealing with technology genuinely in the real world. So at the time of first writing these stories, a lot of this was speculative fiction. It was not possible with our technology, whereas now these become genuine real issues, which is so cool and exciting, and I'm really keen to jump in. This was actually bought for me as a birthday present last year by my brother, and I still haven't read it yet. Bad sister. I would slap my wrist for the fact that this book is so huge. On the note of sci-fi and sort of fantasy authors in general, I really want to read another sort of traditional sci-fi classic, and I actually have two on my bookshelves that I'm kind of keen for. I have H.G. Wells' The Time Machine and The Invisible Man in one book, one binder. This is the Knickerbocker Publishers or Knickerbocker editions by Race Point Publishing. They are gorgeous and beautiful and are much easier to find in America than the UK, so if you are over the pond then look out for these. I bought this one recently in New York, which you will know if you saw my haul, which I will link down below. But actually the one that I am really keen to get to is Journey to the Center of the Earth. Now, by Jules. Now this edition in particular is ancient and very valuable to my family because it is my great-grandfather's. So this is a lovely edition of the book. I'm not inclined to read this particular edition though because I am a bully when it comes to my books. I dog-ear pages, I throw them in the bottom of my bag, I abandon them on the sides, I let my rabbits take a nibble if they want to. So my intention is to buy my own edition of this and then give this one back to my family. The final sci-fi slash fantasy author that I want to get to is Tolkien. This particular edition is The Hobbit, which I have technically listened to an audiobook, but I've never sat down and physically read, so I would quite like to read it. This particular edition was published by HarperCollins and it is a leather-bound edition, which as you can see is much smaller than your standard book. So if I get one for comparison and a standard paperback, this bad boy, which means that the font is absolutely minuscule, so I may not read it in this particular format, but they were too pretty to resist because it actually looks like something a Hobbit would own and read from. We are nearly there. I have 2 authors left that I want to get to. One of them was mentioned in my Mum Picks My TBR from Her Bookshelf video, which is Virginia Woolf. Now if you've seen that video you already know that I have not read Virginia Woolf, but my mum has picked a book of hers for me to read, which is A Room of One's Own. Now this is a non-fiction piece and I would really like to read some of her fiction specifically as well. So I have 2 on my shelves. I have To the Lighthouse and I have The Waves. These I bought at the Fitzwilliam Museum after going and seeing an exhibition on Virginia Woolf, and they are beautiful. These are the Ex Libris Vintage Classics and the illustrations are done by the same person. Who is it? Basically they've done all of Virginia Woolf's books with these different covers and the illustrations are done by the same artist. Sorry I keep glancing around, my rabbits are in the room with me and they're kind of being a little bit cheeky in the background. I will put the artist's name down below and these are just 2 of 6 that you can get. So I will be picking up one of these to go with the non-fiction that I'm going to be reading. And then the final classic. No, sorry. I keep doing this, don't I? So I told a lie. There is one other author. I want to finish off another gothic novel and it's probably going to be Dracula. So I've been listening to the Monster Collection from Audible on audiobook, which included Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Frankenstein and then Dracula. Now I finished the first 2 but I haven't got around to Dracula yet. It's the biggest of all of them. I think it's about 15 or 20 hours worth of audiobook, so my plan is to get to that fairly soon. Okay, the actual final one now that I want to get to, you again will already know about if you've seen my 2019 goals video, because it is my intention to take on a super beastie book this year. Last year I read The Count of Monte Cristo and I really enjoyed it, but it did take a long time, and so it's time to take on my next challenge. Boom! War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy. It's huge, it's a gorgeous edition. This is the Penguin Russian Library edition, of which they have 6 or 7 classic Russian novels, which they've done in this kind of style. I've got Anna Karenina somewhere on my shelves. I'm not particularly bothered by Anna Karenina right now. This is the one that I do want to get to. And my plan is to start it in the 24 and 48 hour readathon that is coming up on the 26th and 27th of January. So, wish me luck. My computer's just kicked on and changed all of my light. No, don't eat my book. Oh, it's all chaos in here. I'm gonna go before my rabbits eat all of my books. It's been lovely chatting to you. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and happy reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.